So hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome to another video on Next.js. So in this video we are gonna understand the intricacies of this Next server. So in the previous video we have already created Next.js server action, right, by creating a new node and adding the node to our database. So it was successfully working fine. However, now we need to understand like why does this Next server like what does it actually do and why does it exist in the first place, and also how does it differ from the traditional React. Okay, so I just made a small diagram in order to explain you how does it actually work. So let me just take you back to the traditional React, how exactly it used to work. So within a React app which is running on let's say localhost 3000, when we want to make a, like, let's say we have a form, right? So when we fill in the form and hit submit, all the form data will be sent as a payload. Okay, so this is completely running on the browser. Okay, so as you see here, I've marked here like JavaScript is already running on the browser, and it will be sent as payload to an outside server which is probably running at localhost 5000 or 8000, and there it will take this as payload and store the values in our backend, right? So this is how it used to happen. So to talk to the database, we make http requests to a remote server or a server which is already hosted, or it could be even your local host server. All these requests we usually make it using a third-party library like Axios or the Redux toolkit query, which we have been using in our previous project. All right, so this is the traditional React. Let's now understand how does it differ from the server action. So this is the use nodes form that we have built in the previous video. So whenever we fill in the form title and content and hit save, okay, so you know that Next server is like completely running on the server side and not on the client side, like when I showed you in the traditional React. So in the traditional React, all of our code is running on the browser, on the client side, right, and nothing on the server side. But our next server is completely residing on our server. Okay, so I just want to make a quick distinction here. So like some of our code which are which are not marked as use client, so those are considered as server components, and those components that are marked with use client, okay, those components are considered as client components. Okay, so we do not have any kind of like a backend front end, like just like we were working with the merge stack, right? So entirely this is a complete one file. So some of our code is running on the server and some of our code is running on the client side. So we need to understand this. So since we haven't marked use client here, so this is completely a server side component, and also we have created a server action over here. You might be wondering, this function right here is been sent to the browser, and then it will make a like API call to the backend to store the note to our database, right? So that is not actually the case here in Next.js. So when I go back to the diagram, so this is completely when the browser, like let's say localhost 3000/add, so it will render this form, right? So this is completely built using HTML, and whenever when we save this form, this entire thing will be sent in the form of a packet called form data, which will contain our title and content and will be sent to the Next server. Okay, then this Next server will collect the form data and then passes on to the next to the server action. All right, so in this server action, we receive that in the form of form data, and we get based on the names that we provide in our form. Okay, and then it will then we connect to our database, and then we create the note over there successfully. Okay, so we do not have any kind of APIs here in Next.js. So this is how the Next server actually works. Okay, so we do not have to create any kind of endpoints in order to make such kind of request to the backend. So once the note is created, we send a response back to the browser, like saying that navigate to the home page that the note is created if it is successful. If not, it will just give an error. So all about how it handles errors and all, we can have a discussion in one of the subsequent videos after this. Okay, so I hope you understood the architecture of Next server. Okay, so again I told you, like, we do not have have to create any kind of endpoints, so we can deal with the directly with the database using server actions like so. And also So in the next video, let's fetch all of the nodes that we created, and let's display them in the form of a list in our home screen, and like how do we actually fetch the data in our Next.js and render them out on our screen. All of this we will be seeing in the next video. So for today's video, if you have any questions, you can just post it down below in the comments, and I'll just try to answer them. And please subscribe to the channel for some more valuable content just like this on Next.js and web development in general. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next video.